All right, welcome back to the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers. Let's talk some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, today we're going to do a little bit something different. We're going to go through a list that we've each kind of made of overrated or not.
Current WWE Superstar Edition.
Correct.
You want to go first or me?
I can go first.
Do it.
Why not?
Do it.
You seem to lead it most times anyway, so I'll give it a go here.
Let's get this bread.
I'm going to go with the second name I would put on my list.
Oh.
Cody Rhodes.
We're just going with the banger right away. You know me. I kind of would have. I think a week ago before Backlash, you could have caught me going, I'm going to lean toward a little overrated. But, man, he's a man. That Backlash match was so freaking good. I know that the build-up wasn't that great. The Backlash match was a banger. Basically, every time, he's one of those guys where it feels like people on Twitter, Instagram, all this stuff, they kind of shit on him weekly for his kind of, by the books promos of like, I'm the champion now or I'm the underdog. But dude, you put him in the biggest moments, in the biggest matches, and it is incredible every time. Cody Rhodes, I'm not going to say he's underrated. I think he's on the pedestal he deserves. He's on top.
I would agree. I put that name on there because, like you said, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever social media platform you have.
He's a champion now. I'm done.
There are I would say it's even maybe a growing segment of the population that thinks he's overrated. I guess my thought would be, if not him, who? I mean, it's got to be him. He's top dog. He's put the time in. His in-ring is phenomenal. His on the mic promos, like, you can say they get a little old, a little bit too much by the book, but still one of the tops out there. So overall, and he's just got that baby face, top dog, just look about him. The suits, the way he carries
like
the title.
He looks like if I was a kid creating my WWE Superstar as a kid, like, I guess I was redundant, but like in SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, when you could like very early on create your wrestler, probably creating Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. I definitely had the neck tattoo for sure as well.
All right, you went with the big guns right away.
Yes.
I mean, obviously Cody was on my list, but I put him at the very bottom. He was the first name I wrote down. I'm like, one of us is saying Cody Rhodes. And
I like that.
We said current, and this is technically a current WWE superstar, but it's a curveball.
Okay.
Overrated or underrated? Demon Finn Balor.
The demon character itself.
Yeah, Demon Finn Balor.
The Demon Finn Balor, I would say, I guess, overrated. It's cool. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's something you don't see very often or really kind of never really seen. It's a very unique character.
Yeah.
I think the way they kind of booked him and the way they put so much emphasis on it to only bring him out in the big matches, and he kind of faded away and he kind of lost that uniqueness.
Yeah.
I understand. I guess I almost kind of pedaled back into my take, but he was so unique, so great. So you didn't see him very often, but they didn't build him up.
Yeah.
And so I think the fans hold on to maybe what could have been versus what it actually is.
Oh, I wrote this guy down. You said overrated. 100% overrated. He lost a bunch. Like, why is Demon Finn Balor overrated? Because he showed up once every 2 years and lost. Like, the nail in the coffin for him was 2 Manias ago against Edge. Why in the hell did Edge win that match? That's a different story for a different day. But that match, he was already 2 feet in the coffin, in the ground. That nailed it.
And
Done.
also, you shouldn't have put him against Roman.
No,
even though it was against, I believe, Extreme Rules. Yeah. He loses fluky because the rope snaps, and that's how he loses. But he could have just not done the character.
Yeah,
and it could have just really saved it.
I agree. Up next, come on.
So we'll move on.
Okay.
This one might feel like a personal attack.
Oh, Jesus.
We're going with the man of the shirt that you're wearing currently.
Yeah.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
Overrated
Overrated
or underrated?
Oh, that's tough.
I think this one could be split. I really do.
I'm gonna say underrated. Reason being, I'm gonna say overall underrated. I'm gonna say also needs some in-ring work adjustments to make him leap into the main event scene permanently. Um, Underrated because he captures a crowd unlike 99% of guys, and you gotta strap a rocket to his feet at that point. When he had everybody in the palm of his hand saying LA and yeah, I mean just every week. I mean the pops are still amazing, and he's kind of been out of you know. I mean he had AJ at Mania, but he's kind of just been you know on the show. Yeah. Like so I'm not gonna sit here and say he's overrated. I'm gonna say he is underrated because of his potential more so than his in-ring abilities.
I go back and forth on this one.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
This one's kind of tough for me to say. I understand your points about the underrated.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean more towards overrated. I love the guy, love the catchphrases. I think he needs a new finisher.
Oh, 100% he's a new
Not
finisher.
great. His
That thing
in
is
ring, I
trash.
think I like his in ring more than you probably do.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
you need some sort of, I guess, direction, and that's not his fault necessarily.
Yeah.
But just the crowd reaction, which is what you want. I think it's just too much for somebody that, at the end of the day, I don't really notice if he's there or not.
Yeah. I agree.
Which sounds terrible to say because when he's there, like when he comes out, yeah, like I'm all in.
Yeah.
But if he's not there, I'm not finding myself being
That's
like,
fair.
"Where's LA Knight at?"
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. Next one on my list is this one has been a topic kind of inside my own head for a long time. And WWE, it's one of those guys that WWE can never seem to know exactly how to push him the right way. Very random, but I'm going to say it. Bobby Lashley, overrated or underrated? You gotta say like his current,
I would say, is underrated.
under.
I'm gonna say underrated. I think Bobby could be a star. I think his
Still.
I still really do. He's got that look about him that I think you don't have a ton, obviously. His promo skills, not great. You could pair him with somebody. I really liked him when he was with Leo Rush. I don't know if that's what they called him at the time.
That's who you bring up? You're not gonna hit him with shit, what was his name?
Exactly my point.
God damn it.
So-
What's his name? MVP. Sorry.
MVP, yeah, well, you know
You're
what?
gonna bring up Leo Rush before you bring up his time with MVP?
To be honest, I kind of forgot about him.
Yeah,
and
I
MVP.
can tell.
Exactly. I think Bobby could be really good. He deserves so much better, and he's better than 80% of the roster. I think you could pencil him in for a championship opportunity. Obviously, not somebody that's going to win the championship.
Yeah.
But you could build a little program and see kind of where it goes. I just think overall he deserves a lot better than what he's got. And maybe that's not underrated. Maybe that's just criminal assault by WWE, but I got to stand up for Bobby a little bit.
That was nice spree you went on there. He's overrated. The reason why I said at the beginning WWE never seems to know how to push him correctly, it's because there's not a right way to push a guy that just does not get over. Every time that they've given him a significant push, they always push him as the unstoppable force that he is because, as you mentioned, he has one of the greatest physiques in wrestling history by a mile. I mean, he's still, I don't know how old he is. He's like
40 something.
Yeah, he's like better
Maybe
half his 40s.
46.
And he's still bigger than anybody on the roster. I mean, incredible. And I think his in-ring work is good. I don't think it's evolved very much over the years. But they always push him as kind of a world beater. They gave him that title reign a couple years ago. And it was fine. Even with MVP, MVP was the best part of that. Bobby was fine. And when he lost the belt, it was kind of like, Okay. And since then, they still every time that Bobby's on TV, they still kind of try to push him as sort of like a world beater. And it just doesn't work for me at all anymore. Yeah, overrated. Last one from you.
Ooh, it's gonna be tough
Oh,
because
I have one that you're not gonna. It's
I have two names on my list, and
Huh.
it's gonna be tough for me to pick between the two.
Hmm.
I know where you're supposed to go. Current
Oh,
WWE
I
superstars.
was about to say John Cena, aren't you?
I'm gonna think outside the box a little bit. Seen the debate on social media,
Mm.
so we're gonna throw it out here.
Mm.
Samantha Irvin.
Hey, I would call her current.
She's not a superstar, but I mean personality.
She's a superstar on the mic.
Per-
And you know
personality.
what? She is. This is kind of how I feel about Cody too. Like I'm gonna say underrated because I don't think she's overrated. I think that she's properly rated, so I'll say underrated. I think she's great on a mic. I really don't see why people hate on her. I'm not gonna throw out any wild reasons why. I just think that. I mean, you can't say she's like any. She's just as good as Lillian Garcia was. I mean, she doesn't do the national anthem and stuff like that in an awesome way, like she did.
Probably could.
But like when she was on the mic, almost tearing up when Cody won the title, that's good stuff.
Yep.
Like, and it's iconic. From now on, when they talk about Cody winning the title at WrestleMania 40, they will bring up and the ring announcer Samantha Irvin cracked her voice. She was tearing up with it. Like she's now a part of history. I love the way she does it. Her Chelsea green, it's always good. I think it's good stuff.
I think it's important to have somebody like that to introduce the characters, wrestlers, whatever you want to call them. It gives diversification. It makes him feel important.
Yep.
She emphasizes, I feel like, who she needs to emphasize, kind of brings it home a little bit. I guess I understand sometimes she can be over the top, but in a business that you're supposed to be over the top,
Yeah.
why are you upset about it?
Yeah.
I see a lot of complaints about it, but like you said, the raw emotion is something you don't really ever get to see. So I would also say underrated. I thought I would throw a curveball out there and see if it maybe catch you by surprise. It clearly did not. So
I liked it. I loved the it was a curveball and it did catch me by surprise, but I was thinking you were gonna like randomly go like attitude era and I was gonna be like son of a bitch. Okay, this last one this last one's gonna be a little controversial. I'm gonna count it as current-ish. It's someone that we got to witness, and we're talking about the character within WWE. Overrated or underrated, The Fiend. Obviously, rest in peace. We're gonna put that out there right away. But the Fiend character, that body of work, was it overrated or was it underrated?
oh man,
Yeah.
that's really tough.
Yeah.
That is really tough. I know which way you're going to go. I have that already kind of made up in my mind, and I kind of understand it as well. I'm going to say underrated. I think at the time, nobody kind of caught the crowd the way that he did. I understand there's things that could have been better. I understand they kind of dropped the ball from time to time. I understand the vision kind of got lost here and there. Sucks, obviously, we didn't get to see the final vision.
Yeah.
His vision, because obviously we're going to see a vision.
Yeah.
But I just think that it was so captivating in a time where you didn't really have anything. You hadn't really seen anything like that. When he came back against Balor at SummerSlam and he had that lantern of himself, I mean, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So I would say underrated. I think he was maybe booked wrong and he kind of lost his way a little bit. But overall, the character itself, I would say this might be a hot take. Top 5 character, just the character itself of all time.
All time.
All time.
Okay, no.
I think when you look back on it, it's still a little bit fresh, but the actual character itself and just how outside the box it was, I think as time goes on, he's gonna get the respect that he deserves.
Well, I think he got robbed. On that note, I think he got robbed of being a top 5 character because of what unfortunately happened. Anyway, when it comes to just being overrated or underrated, you said, "Oh, I think I know which way he's gonna go." Not true. I think the Fiend was underrated. I think I'm gonna put the giant asterisk on it right away. I think that the Fiend had terrible matches for the most part. I thought Firefly Funhouse might have been the best match of the COVID mania. That or the Boneyard match with Taker and AJ, but not piggybacking off your top 5 character of all time quite that much. Wrestling is all about the character, and that was unheard of. Has never been done before, has never been done after. I mean, I guess you could technically say like Kane kind of had that mystique to him for a little bit, but like, dude, the Fiend was another level. I mean, we were there watching at Raw when the Fiend character was just beginning, and they would do the dark match after the show of him. That's kind of how he would get his reps in. I mean, kids, you can just look at the kids, and I mean, to those kids, that was like the devil was walking out, man.
Genuine fear.
What that would have been in the long run, I don't know if it would have panned out or not because the matches themselves were growing so poorly. But character wise, who knows? And hopefully this Uncle Howdy stuff ends up working out and ending up doing the Fiend character justice. But definitely underrated. Definitely underrated.
It's very much a surprise. I thought you would have said overrated.
No. Overrated if you want me to say just his match work. I think his matches were terrible.
I think the character can make up for it.
The infamous dark red light Hell in a Cell match where he lost, by the way.
I know. You don't have to tell me that.
Yeah. So his in-ring work extremely overrated. But the Fiend as a character, not top 5 all time, but pretty damn good.
It might be a hot take, but I guess we'll visit it at a later date.
All right. Well done. Three superstars apiece. Overrated, underrated. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
We will see you on the next episode at COD Wrestle Pod on all your social media devices, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, XYZ. We are also found, our podcast is on every streaming platform that you could possibly listen to. We have weekly podcast episodes every Monday, and then check in during the week to see if we do any stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And feel free to critique our overrated, underrated, if you agree, disagree, if you think that
give it to us in
the Fiend is like a top 5 character of all time, because I'll die on that hill. And then we'll go ahead and feel free to list somebody that you guys think we should talk about maybe next week.
Yeah.
Somebody that you think maybe doesn't get the credit they deserve or maybe too much credit. So feel free to drop those names in there as well, and we'll get those at a later date.
Sheamus for champion.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I'm Will. That's Brandon. Cousin of Destruction podcast. See you next time.